Hey, I'm Chris Ralph, the professional prospector, and today I'm doing a part of a series that I've been doing for a while. It's basically secrets of nugget detecting success. But you know, even if you don't do nugget detecting, this idea that we're going to talk about today will help you be a better prospector and be more successful in finding gold. And so I hope you'll tune in and stay with me through the whole set here when I go through what I want to talk about, because it's important stuff. Now, my lesson today is that prospecting is about the gold you find, not the gold you miss. Now, you may say to yourself, hey Chris, that's kind of obvious. And in a sense, it is. But in another sense, people don't really think about it so much. A lot of guys way over focus on trying to get every speck of gold that might be either in some gravels or at a certain deposit or something like that. And sometimes that when you over focus like that, you'll end up with less gold than you might have if you did something different. So that's kind of what we're talking about. And it's the gold you find that's in your pocket, it's potentially money, and it's potentially going to help you, with your skills of finding gold, and it's a trophy. It's something that you could sell. But the gold you don't find, it's still in the ground, and it doesn't really do you any good. So in that sense, it is kind of an advanced lesson, something that not just newbies should think about, but also more experienced prospectors. Now, when somebody tells you that you're going to be walking past gold, or that you've been walking past gold and missing gold, a lot of people just, oh, that's terrible. I missed some gold. Oh, and especially new guys, you think, well, I could have been finding that gold, but instead, I could have found a gold if I dug here, but I dug over here and I didn't get that gold. Now, it's something you've got to learn to accept if you're a prospector, that you're going to miss gold. And there's various reasons for it, some of which are skill and knowledge and experience reasons. And those you can grow in, and you can take care of, and you can learn to do better. You can strengthen your skills and become a better prospector, right? Others, are just kind of the throw of the dice and how the luck turns. And I tell you a great story. It's a true story. Years ago, I went to Alaska for the first time, and I was metal detecting for nuggets, and there was a huge area that had been worked from around the turn of the century to well into, I think, the 1940s before they really stopped working it hard. And so there was a huge area. It was worked just, a few individuals with heavy equipment and stuff like that. But there was a huge area that had been mined over all those years, and all of it had potential for nuggets. And some of the nuggets were big. And so I went there and, I detected around. And one particular day, I went down a certain trail, and I got to the trail made a T with another trail. It went into another trail. So you could go either left or right. I decided to go left. I turned left and went down, and I don't think I found any nuggets that afternoon. But I hunted around, of course, dug a lot of trash and stuff. Another guy in our group went down the same trail, maybe 20 minutes after me. Came to the same T intersection. He didn't see me because 20 minutes later I was out of sight, but he came to that intersection and decided, I'm going to turn to the right. And so, just out of chance and luck, he turned to the right. He went about 15 feet and got a 2.5 ounce nugget. I could have got that 2.5 ounce nugget, but I didn't. And, it just is how the luck of the draw is. When you go in and go prospecting, You use your skills to read and to see what's there and to learn and know what the best place to look is. But it isn't always super obvious. It doesn't always just jump out at you. And so there's going to be times when you turned left when you should have turned right, or you turned right when you should have turned left. And you dug here when you should have dug there. You can't. Skill can only make up for part of that. There's a certain element of luck that's involved. And there's really no getting around that. But the skill really does make a difference. You're way better off with skill and knowledge and experience than you are with only luck and you don't know anything. And that's where a lot of newbies are. And so when people tell them, you walked past gold, it's like, oh, and they feel really bad about it. Some of them actually get so discouraged, they give up. And getting discouraged is something that gets rid of a lot of prospectors. It gets a lot of guys to just give up and surrender, and their metal detector or whatever other prospecting equipment, high banker, you name it, sluice box, pans, it goes in the closet or in the garage and never makes it out again. A lot of guys have an over expectancy of what they really can get. I've had newbies guys tell me, yeah, I could figure I could go out and get a half an ounce to an ounce a day. That'll be, close to $1,000. That's better than I make on my job. So I quit my job and went out there to get a half an ounce to an ounce a day. And they got out in the field and found, I don't know anything. I don't have any skills. And I only found about $5 worth of gold. I could have made more than that in 15 minutes at my job. So they get discouraged and give up. It's important, but there are trade-offs that you make in finding more gold. One of the things that people will tell me sometimes too is, when I'm out metal detecting, I dig it all. And if you're in certain kinds of places where there's not ghastly amounts of trash, yeah, you should dig it all. That makes sense. It makes perfect sense. But there's other times when you really should use the discrimination and be careful and dig what the detector tells you is likely to be not iron trash. It may be a bullet or maybe a nugget, but it's a trade-off because no discrimination is perfect. And so you go to an area, let's say, that's got some gold, but it's got trash everywhere. And you go out there and you dig. And somebody told you, I dig it all. What I say is make a decision based on the situation that you have. Don't just have a ironclad rule, dig it all every time. If you're in, like I say, if you're in the right kind of areas, then dig it all every time is fine. But when you're in a trashy area, using your discrimination may result in more gold in your pocket than not, even if you miss some. So think about it. I go to an area where there's a lot of trash. The dig it all guy digs it all until he's dug 50 pieces of trash, and then he's just, I'm over it, man. And he's out of there. I go in with my discrimination, and I may dig a few trashes, but I'm picking in amongst all the trash. Like I say, a few of them may get confused because you got multiple pieces of trash close to the coil and it confuses the discrimination system. Stuff like that happens. Like I say, no discrimination system is perfect. And you may even go there with discrimination and it may tell you that it's not ferrous, and you dig it up and it's like, it was wrong. It's a piece of a section of an old square nail or something. So there's times when this discrimination doesn't work and it's not perfect and you might miss some gold. There's times that you might go over it, and because there's a piece of trash next to the gold and it's big trash, the detector may tell you, just ignore that because it's junk, and you walked by a piece of gold. But what I'm telling you is, in those really high trash areas, me using discrimination I'll get more gold than the guy who tries to dig it all. Because the ratio of nuggets to trash may be 300 to 1. And like I say, he digs 50 pieces of trash and then it's like, okay, I'm not going to keep hunting here. I'm going someplace else. Looks good, but just way too much trash. And the truth is, a lot of times the old timers, one of the things they did was they camped right on their gold. And they might work even around it, but where their tent was, where their mess hall setup was, they might leave that alone and not actually dig there. But there's a lot of trash. Those areas are not that uncommon. If you're out in the desert, though, in the middle of nowhere, and there's just not a lot of trash, you should dig it all. I totally agree. But if you've found the camp of the old miners and there's nuggets scattered in between all the rusty bits of tin can and bits of nails and other miscellaneous iron junk, well, you should use your discrimination and find more gold. Because remember, it's about the gold you find, not the gold you miss. You starting to see it? Now, I talked about skill and luck. And yes, do all you can to gain whatever skill you can gain. Think about what you're doing. Think about your successes when you find a nugget. Where was this? What kind of place was this? What indicators are here? Consider all those things and use it to build up your skill and knowledge. But, you just can't change the thing that luck plays. I mean, it's not something, like I say, you come to a trail, turn left, turn right, you're going to get different results. Maybe one way was a big nugget, the other way was just more trash. You can't eliminate that luck part, but you can change the knowledge, skills, and abilities that you have. You can learn more. You can grow as a prospector. You can become a better prospector, more skilled. And trust me, the guys that know what they're doing overall do way better than the guys who don't know what they're doing. They're just getting started and being out there to learn. Another concept that goes with overly focusing on the gold you might miss is always going to the same place. A lot of guys focus, well, there's still some gravel there, or there's still some potential for some nuggets. Yeah, I know, the last 5 times I went, I haven't gotten hardly anything, but there still might be some gold there. That kind of attitude is kind of self-defeating kind of thing. Because the gold, other than streams that get reflooded real bad once in a while, other than that, it doesn't grow back. So if you're on a bench or an old hydraulic mine or out in the desert or something like that, it doesn't grow back. It doesn't renew itself. And you may well eke out a little bit of gold when you go out there. Sure. But, you're missing out on the potential of other places. Going to the same place over and over again, even though you're not getting much, is a bad idea. You really should set some sort of minimum standard for, places that are okay and places you really need to keep looking. For me, it's something maybe a little north of a pennyweight a day. If I can pretty well average a pennyweight or better, that's okay. This summer I went to a couple places where I went back and back and back, where I was only getting a gram or so, which is less than what I really find okay for a day's work. But I went there because there was gravel to be dug. And I took my dad with me, and I enjoyed having him with me, and it's an easier place to get to, no big hiking required to get into it. And so because of those other things, I went back and went back and went back and did some dry washing and metal detecting, and I had a good time. I found gold every time, because there definitely is gold there, but not really in the amounts that I wish that I would, that I would want to be able to find. It really is amounts where it would tell me, okay, you need to keep looking. go to other places, see what you can find elsewhere. So having a good minimum standard for yourself, maybe you'll set yours a little lower, especially if you're new. You might say, well, if I can get 1/3 of a gram in a day, I'll be happy because I'm still learning. And that's not bad. I'm not criticizing that. I wouldn't offer any kind of criticism. But don't just accept crumbing around forever and getting very little. Set your standards high. Make sure that you get something significant, and if you're not, work at it. Okay? Don't just surrender and give up. A lot of guys give up because they don't like prospecting new places. Hey, I got gold there 3 years ago. Let's go back. Yeah, I've been there 10 times since and haven't gotten much, but we did okay 3 years ago. And I've done that. Trust me, one of the things about exploring new places that a wise prospector once told me, he says, you go out and explore new places, and if you really just strike out, go back to, one of your places that still yields a little bit of gold, maybe not as much as you'd like, but go back there and kind of renew your confidence and renew your belief. Yeah, the gold is there. I just need to go find some more other places. And that can be good. That actually can be good. But don't just get stuck in a rut, stuck in the same place. Don't auger in and just, I'm not getting hardly anything but a few specks, but I'm going to keep digging because if I dig to the center of the earth, I'll get more. Probably doesn't work that way. Okay? Prospecting the unknown is difficult. Okay? You go out to some place and maybe you read a report or you heard from somebody, there's some gold out there. Maybe you give it your best, but you just don't know yet. When you first go out to some place, there's always the unknown. Well, in this new place, where are you going to find the gold? Is it going to be on the bedrock? Is it going to be up in a certain pay layer? Is it going to, where's it going to be? You don't know that yet because you're going to a new place. So you got to kind of, roll with the punches, and it's difficult. And, getting out and exploring, it really has the greater potential because if you make something new find, if you get out and see something new, you got potential to make bigger finds. So you got to have confidence and persistence and determination if you're going to be a prospector. And, getting out and learning more and learning more of your skills and understanding where the gold gets deposited, that gives you confidence. So that when you go out to a new place, you're confident. You're going to be able to recognize where the gold is. Commitment, being committed to the process, committed to get out there and try new places, committed to see what you can find. That kind of commitment gives you persistence. And then finally, focus. Just focusing in and making sure that you do what you need to do to find the gold, that gives you determination. Now, learn about it. And what goes with this is to learn about the areas that you're going to. If somebody told you, there's some gold up by so-and-so, read, find old reports, talk to people, old newspaper reports. There's lots of ways to find more, and I've got videos that talk about the research process, and get out and prospect new places and read books. Don't focus on there might be some more gold here, so I got to keep digging until I get every speck. Think about the potential for finding some nice nuggets. And focus on the potential to find bigger stuff. So get out there and do that research, and then get out there and explore. And, it's all about the skills and knowing what you're doing. That gives you the confidence and it helps you be more persistent and determined. And what is the part, like I say, there's always an element of luck. But what your skills and your experience are the part that aren't luck, that can tune you in and help you find more gold. And if you're interested in increasing your prospecting skills and knowing more about how to find gold, I wrote a complete book about it. It's like an encyclopedia, and it talks about all kinds of different topics from geology and where gold deposits, how to use metal detectors, how to use sluice boxes, pans, dry washers, the whole 9 yards. It's like I say, an encyclopedia of individual prospecting. And if you want to increase your prospecting skills, then take a look at my book, because I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my book right now. So let me tell you a little bit more about my book. It's called Fistful of Gold, and I wrote it because I want you to be able to go out and find for yourself fistful of gold. And you can see that it's an encyclopedia with all kinds of information, pictures, and that sort of thing. It's not in color, but color would have cost me a lot more to have printed, and so the book would have cost a lot more. It's for sale on Amazon, and you can pick it up. I'll put a link in the description below. I also serve as the editor for a prospecting magazine. It's ICMJ's Prospecting and Mining Journal. And honestly, you should check that out. We got stories and information, legal stuff, everything you know to increase your skills as a prospector. I write articles in this every month, and a lot of other very experienced prospectors contribute to the magazine as well. So check the magazine out. Also, I have a website, and the website is at NevadaOutbackGems.com. I'll put a link for it in the description below, but there's gobs of information there that you will find useful in your prospecting efforts. Finally, I want to say that I really appreciate your comments and thoughts, and even positive criticism. Don't come on there and just toss out insults, because I'll just delete your comments. But if you've got helpful things to say and questions to ask, do write and put those in the comments, because I answer my comments to people, and you'll hear from me in responding to you. So if you've enjoyed this video and you like what you see and you're interested in finding out more, well, then sign up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so they'll let you know when I post new videos. And like it and share it if, again, you see stuff that you really are excited about. And I'll be coming out with lots more new videos, and so we'll see you again real soon.